Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Kat Terrell now with ESPN.com, NFL Nation Saints reporter. Good enough to join us on the show. Kat, we appreciate it. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I would be doing much better if I knew Tyrann Mathieu was coming back to the Saints and was going to play a full 17-game schedule. Can you fill in any of the blanks there with Tyrann?
Yeah, I don't have any new info on that right now. Obviously, it's starting to get a little concerning that it's week 2 of training camp and he's still not around. I think that's a little baffling. Definitely something to dig into, because as Dennis Allen said today, he said, there will come a point where he needs to be here, but we're not at that point yet. So I feel like Allen's saying all the right things, especially considering we don't really know what kind of personal issue Matthew is dealing with. But it's definitely not something you see every day. And usually when you see a player have an extended absence, you usually know why. Mm-hmm. So that'll be one of the big stories of camp this week if he doesn't come back soon.
So, Kat, how are they handling his absence on the field right now?
Well, I feel like it's, pretty much business as usual. Marcus May has come back, so that's one good thing, I guess. But there's kind of a lot of rotating going on, so I feel like I've seen a lot of the safeties back there. I feel like sometimes PJ Williams has been back there. Sorensen at times. So yeah, the problem is not having Matthew and May spend time together, since they haven't done that at all this summer, really. I think that needs to happen at some point soon. So really, they just got into pads. So I feel like it's just the first big step to playing actual football. But, at some point, I'm sure they would like to see how the two play off each other.
Kat, staying in the secondary, I haven't been to a practice yet, but it's been impossible to notice anybody who's been at practice tweeting or talking about practice without mentioning Paulson Adebo. What has he done that has really popped so effectively so early?
Well, I think he's just been around the ball a lot. He just seems to be one of those players so far that has just made a lot of eye-catching defensive plays, whether it's an interception. I believe he had one today off Winston, or a PBU. And, he's done it day after day, and that's really what you're looking for in camp, that kind of consistency. It's why, on the other side, last year, Marquez Callaway kind of became the star of camp, because it was just day after day consistency. So I think what you really want to see with Adebo is him taking that next step forward. Last year at this time, I could not even tell you who was one of the starting cornerbacks next to Lattimore, because they rotated through them so much. Like, it was crazy. I think it was probably P-Rob at this point before he retired. So it wasn't really that much competition. They went and got Roby eventually, and he didn't play in week 1, and Adebo was kind of thrown in there, and I feel like he kind of took it and ran with it. But there's still a lot more that he can do to improve himself, and there is competition, whether it's Alontae Taylor or Roby now in his second year. So this is exactly what you want to see from him so far, and with him playing next to Lattimore, if he turns this performance into the regular season, they could be a really good pair again this year.
She's Kat Terrell on Twitter at Kat_Terrell, ESPN.com, Saints NFL Nation beat reporter. Look, everyone always wants to know about the rookies as well, and Chris Olave is gaining a lot of headlines. They did put pads on today. Anything from Trevor Penning so far?
Yeah, I tried to watch Penning a lot today specifically. Sometimes it's hard to do when you're trying to take in everything, and it's just one of you. But I did watch Penning a lot. I thought he won a lot of his reps. Maybe 2, I could say. Those weren't great, but definitely a lot more than 2, I think, were good. He was very physical, to the point where I was telling someone, I said, I don't know if it's that he's holding or if he's just got really good hand placement today, but he is frustrating the defensive linemen. Carl Granderson was kind of frustrated at one point, and then obviously everyone's heard by now there was that scuffle with Peyton Turner, and that's going to happen when it's hot and you've got pads on and things like that. But I think it's a really good thing, for these two young guys to be going at each other and for Penning to be holding his own. He's not a guy, clearly, that's just going to take that. So they kind of took swings at each other, and life moved on pretty quickly. But I did like what I saw from him today, and it'll be interesting to see how he progresses and if he can push James Hurst for that starting spot. But I thought he had a good day today, just from my non-trained eye watching offensive linemen.
What about the running backs? Anything standing out?
Well, I really think the only thing that stood out about the running backs today was that Alvin Kamara was there. Nothing huge from the running backs today. Kamara looks solid as always. A guy I'm really interested to watch more now that the pad's on is undrafted rookie Abram Smith. I really want to see more of this guy. I think he's super intriguing. I think the Saints saw a lot in him because they thought they had this conversation about drafting him, but they didn't have that many draft picks. So it ended up being one of those things where the defensive line coach kind of won out in the end. But he's an intriguing guy, and the Kamara situation is just something that people are just going to have to keep watching. I think the fact that he had his court case continued today, probably continued until October, is a good sign for him playing at least half the season and maybe even playing the whole season without a suspension. It's hard to say, but you know how slow the NFL moves on these things. So good sign that they're going to have him on the roster week 1.
Yeah, running back is we've fretted over it for so long because of the likelihood of a Kamara suspension, but the more that keeps getting bumped back, as you said, there's a good possibility he'll certainly be there at the start of the season, if not throughout. A couple more minutes here with Katherine Terrell. She's on Twitter at @Kat_Terrell. You'll give her a follow. Read her stuff at ESPN.com. A lot of talk about Adam Troutman as well. Kind of a big year for him, no doubt. Can you tangibly tell or notice a difference or growth or improvement in him so far?
I think so, honestly. He is one of the guys whose names has come up a lot. He's come up a lot. As we mentioned, Adebo has come up a lot. I think, you talk a lot to other reporters just standing on the sidelines watching practice, especially when they go into special teams work, and there's not as much to actively watch. And Troutman's a guy that a lot of us have said, wow, I think he could take that next step forward this year. And this is really the year that kind of made sense that he could do that. Coming from such a small school, I feel like the narrative was always that, hey, this guy's going to take a while to develop. And then people tend to forget about that and then wonder, okay, well, why is he not where we think he should be? But, so far, so good in camp. And he's a guy I'm kind of excited to watch grow. And I really do think I think about him more maybe than I was at this point last year in terms of practice.
Kat, before you go, injuries are always a thing people talk about. Pete Werner, Juwan Johnson were back out there. Anything else notable right now through 5 practices that's worth keeping an eye on?
It's kind of interesting. It almost feels like Dennis Allen has a lighter workload with the players than maybe at this time in training camp last year. And I don't know if that's an Allen thing or if that's a NFLPA thing. But so far, I feel like the practices haven't been that intense. It ended at 10:45 today, and so that was about an hour and 45 minutes of practice, which sounds long, but really kind of went by pretty fast. And so maybe he's trying to curb the injuries. I don't know. So far, mostly so good on the injury front. The only thing I would watch is Marcus Davenport. I didn't see him today, and then practiced 2 days ago. He wasn't really doing anything off to the side like he was before. So it could be concerning if it continues, but, just something I'm going to watch for on Tuesday morning.
She is Kat Terrell. Make sure you follow her on Twitter for Saints reports there throughout camp at Kat_Terrell, and read her stuff at ESPN.com. Kat, we always appreciate the time. Thanks so much for squeezing it in today.
Yep, thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.